Percy's plan. Along Thomas's branch line is a farm where Terence the tractor works. Terence has caterpillars which allow him to move easily on the turned earth. Thomas once made fun of Terence's caterpillars, but soon realised how useful they could be when Terence rescued him from a snowdrift. Thomas and Terence are now good friends. One day, Thomas waited at the signal to give Terence the latest news. "We've 2 new engines on this branch line," Thomas said excitedly. "Their names are Percy and Toby." "Splendid!" Terence smiled. "I love seeing you and your lovely coaches, but it will be good to see some new faces coming along the farm." "You'll see them soon. They're both quite nice," said Thomas. He gave a whistle and left Terence to finish his work. "He has caterpillars on his wheels?" Percy asked. "That doesn't seem very efficient." "They're not insects," laughed Toby. "Caterpillars are long chains that grip the earth. We had a tractor like Terence on my old branch line." "Yes," agreed Thomas. "He can go almost anywhere. He once saved me after I became stuck in a snowdrift. He could probably do our shunting if we asked him to." Thomas was only joking, but Percy believed him. Percy was young and lazy, and did not like shunting at all, which gave him an idea. The next day, Percy stopped at the signal near Terence's field. Percy glanced over and noticed Terence's caterpillars, which reminded him of his plan. "You must be Terence," Percy called. "I am. Thomas told me about you. Are you Percy or Toby?" Percy, not wanting to be recognised for his scheme, decided to masquerade. I'm Toby," Percy squeaked. "Say, with your caterpillars, I bet you're just as adept on the rails as you are on the earth, "Absolutely. I can straddle on rails and couple to carriages with ease. That's how I helped Thomas out of the snow." Percy pondered for a moment. His plan, he thought, just might work. "The Fat Controller has asked you to go to the station yard. There are many trucks there to be shunted." "Go to the station? But I'm needed at the farm." Percy started. "Another tractor will do your work. Hurry along now." Terence and his driver were confused, but did as they were told. Percy was pleased. "Now I'll be able to take a long rest at the next station," he said to himself. Terence arrived and set to work, pulling the trucks in their proper place. The workmen were astonished to see a tractor in the yard. The sight was unlike anything they had ever seen, but Terence was a hard worker and did the work without fuss. Percy, meanwhile, was dozing peacefully up the line, thinking of how his brilliant plan had worked. Presently, Toby returned to the yard to pick up his afternoon goods train, and as he rounded the bend, instead of seeing Percy, he saw Terence. "Hello," said Toby. "Who are you?" "I'm Terence," wheezed the tractor, out of breath. Toby surveyed the scene. "Toby," he began, "why are you doing Percy's work?" "Percy? I thought..." Terence was confused and explained the situation to Toby. "Wait until the Fat Controller hears about this." Percy woke from his nap to see a stern figure standing before him. It was the Fat Controller. "Have a good nap, Percy. Or I should say, Toby," he boomed. "Silence!" the Fat Controller bellowed. "Do not approve of my engines taking advantage of others. Terence is an only working tractor that Farmer Finney owns. With Terence with the yard all afternoon, they lost precious daylight to harvest their crops. Your scheme to avoid work has cost them a lot of money." Percy didn't know what to say. He felt very ashamed indeed. "You could have at least helped the farm," Thomas chuckled back at the sheds that night. "I'm sure Farmer Finney would have been gladly attached caterpillars to your wheels. You'd be like an old-fashioned traction engine," laughed Toby. Try as he might to humour Thomas and Toby, Percy felt awful. He hoped that he could make things right with Terence soon.